Hello, this training video will walk you through the payment process in the STARS system to include adding a bank account, how to submit payments to an open invoice, and this training is broken into three parts. So adding the bank account information and paying for the invoice, open invoice. The second part is going to be another video where processing a prepaid credit, and then the third is taking that prepaid credit and applying it to open invoices. So the first thing you want to do is get signed in. So while you do that, I'll get signed in as well. So there's some key reminders that I like to emphasize before we get into actually setting up that bank account. Is that you as the employer can have numerous bank accounts if you need that for your agency. So more than one, you can have as many as you need to complete that process. And then also just a reminder that in the new STARS system, when you have an open invoice sitting and then you close up business for the day and there's credits that are already on account, the process is going to be that we're going to sweep all the open invoices and those will be paid by any credits that you have what you may have on account. We call that the first in, first out. So make sure that when you're processing your payments that you complete the process, or just be aware that if you have a credit on file, it will go ahead and pay for that invoice as much as that invoice. If it doesn't cover the amount, it'll take all of your credit for you. And then also in the payments, as they move through statuses, the active one is your current active open invoices. Then you're going to see queued possibly, and then that just means that it's being moved from bank account to bank account, from yours to ours. And then once our bank notifies us that the money has been received from your bank for the payments, then it'll be considered issued, is what you'll see down below. And I'll explain when we get there the queued and where you would find that issued when we get to that point. So the first thing we want to do is click on the Payments tab in the left-hand navigation. And you'll see that the second section down is bank account information. We already have one bank account information in here. For the purpose of this training, we'll add another one so you can see that you can have more than one. So click on Add Bank Account. And then the routing number, go ahead and enter that. It says Bank of America, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. And then we'll go ahead and enter the account number. Okay, and now they match. A short name provide to the account. It is required based on this. So you can add anything you'd like. For the purpose of this one, we'll just say that this is the PD secondary. Whatever you'd like to use as a description to keep the two accounts separate, and select next. And then from there, we're going into our electronic funds transfer agreement. Once that's agreed, all the information here is correct, continue. And then you have down at the bottom, person accepted title. You can put anything in here. You could be payroll, could be finance director, HR director, whichever your title is, then you'll go ahead and put that in there. So I just put in their payroll for today. It processes it. And the last thing we're going to do for this step is to confirm it. And then close this out. And what will happen is our bank account appeared right here, the second line. So we have two bank accounts now for this particular employer set up for them to use. And now that we're ready to pay open invoices, normally you would have anywhere maybe from 1 to 4 invoices max that are open. You're going to see a bunch here, so do not panic on that. So this transition here for invoice payment, this is using your bank account here to transfer. So we'll get into the prepaid count in the next video. but you want to select transaction and invoice payment here, select next, and it brings up all of our open invoices. So I've used quite a few of these for training, so I'm just going to go to the back page. We have 8 pages of them, 39 complete, and hopefully we won't run into any issues with these. So I'm going to just go ahead and select this $7,000 one here. It's telling us right here the amount that's going to be applied or asked from your bank to be sent to us is $7,196.07. Amount applied as well right here. So different places it tells you exactly how much we're looking for and how much your bank is going to send us. We'll go ahead and select next. Perfect. We didn't get a warning. So it's coming out of the 2669 account because that's what we had originally set up as the default one. You don't have to have a default one, but if you are working with different ones and this is your primary one, just mark it as your default bank account. And then we're going to confirm that. Look at our information to make sure it's accurate, and then confirm. Right away, it tells us the payment was created, and then we'll scroll down to the bottom of the page. And this is where I mentioned the status is about active. The active is the open invoice. Queued right now, you'll see that today's date, March 5th, is when this video was made, that it's in the system for the $7,196.07. This is telling you right now the queued status is that this information has been submitted from your bank over to ours. Now, we will sweep it at the end of the day. We will batch process it, as it's called, at 4 p.m. daily. So if this payment is before 4 p.m., then it should process through during the night. Tomorrow morning, we should get notification that the information was received and then move forward from there. Once our bank has received it and notified us that the money has been received, this status will actually change to issued. So going forward, when you're wondering if a particular invoice has been paid and when it was paid, just come in here and look at the status. If it's queued, that means it's still processing. And then if it's issued, that means it has been paid, that PSPRS has received the money from your bank. So once again, you don't have to have a default bank account, and I'll show you how to edit that. So you just come in, click Edit, just slide the toggle here for make this a default. Select Next, make sure you confirm all of your information. Confirm. And then once it notice that it's gone and it gives you an update here that what payment was processed, the method was, and we no longer have a default one. So then once we go through the billing invoice, then you would select what bank account you want to come into. As you noticed, you can delete them as well. So if you change bank accounts or don't want to use a certain one anymore, you can delete it as well. Right now, we cannot delete them for the purpose of this video because each of them have an invoice assigned for down here in this process, and it would give us an error message. So just so you know that. So that is the end of this portion of the video. The next video that you could go to would be for the prepaid portion of it and looking at how to make and apply a credit that would end up here under the payments process. Have a great day. Bye-bye.